been watching this guy for 15, 20 years. Big John McCarthy, you've called the biggest fights in MMA history. What does that feel like?
I'm honored and to be a part of mixed martial arts and how it's blowing up now. I'm very lucky and blessed person.
One of the things that you do really well is you call a heck of a fight. The best fighters in the world always want you to ref the fights because they know you know the sport inside and out. You don't take any nonsense and you're a fair ref. How did you build up such a repertoire of knowledge of the sport before it took off?
You know what? I didn't have the luxury of being able to learn from other referees and things like that, so I kind of went through the school of hard knocks a little bit, but I do understand the sport. I've been a part of the rules as they've come about and gone and talked to Senate commissions and athletic commissions and things like that about it. So I do understand what's supposed to go on, and it's helped me because of the fact I don't have to think a whole lot about it. I know what it is, so it comes pretty natural now, and luckily I get to do something I love, so that makes it really easy.
I interviewed Chuck the Iceman Liddell last week. I was in Tampa with him, and he was an absolute rock star. 3,000 people trying to get a hold of him because his face is so recognizable. You're always a part of that. Have you noticed that as well, the face recognizability?
Oh yeah, in the last 2 years, the sport has gone nuts, and there's so many people now that come up all the time. Anywhere I go, they come up and they want to talk about the Ultimate Fighting Championship, mixed martial arts, any show that they're seeing. So it's great. It's great that the fans are watching it. People are interested in it, and they want more and more mixed martial arts. And hopefully, it's just going to continue to grow. And this will be the sport of the future for everybody.
Are you enjoying the team concept? This is kind of like an Olympic type thing where you have 5 guys in 5 different weight classes fighting as a team. What do you think of the team concept?
The team concept, coming from a little bit of a wrestling background, it makes sense because it's like the old wrestling and for the high school, college, dual meet type things that are putting on, and so I like part of it. I wish they would change the scoring of it to make it to where you got more points for knockouts or submissions, depending upon the round. So you always had a chance of the team winning, even with the last fight, depending upon how it ended. But it's all good because it's mixed martial arts, and I just love the fighting.
Now, you started off as a cop. Do you still have to do law enforcement, or is it gone so big now that it's all right, you can walk away from that? And do you want to walk away from it?
You know what? No, I still work for the LAPD, and I train officers, and I have some people here that I train right now, and it's
do they give you a hard time?
Oh no, they treat me really good. The best part is it's right now, referees are judging. You're not going to ever make a living. Well, some guys try, but it's, I have a career with one, and I'm going to get my retirement out of that, so that's why I'm sticking around. And so, but I have a good time with everything I do.
Well, we're so glad you joined us. And what did you think of the fights tonight?
I thought some of them were really good. There was a couple, seeing Jay Haran do what he did. Jay did a great job, and there's a couple guys out there that really put on a show. A couple of good. Quick endings of some fights, but it was good to see.
Hey, how about with all the guys coming over from Pride now over to UFC, some real interesting matchups, interesting things taking place. Of course, Randy beating Sylvia is going to make things really interesting in the heavyweight division. What do you think of the heavyweight division in UFC? What are you looking forward to in terms of matchups?
The heavyweight division in UFC, it got a lot of studs out there right now. The landscape is changing. It seems like every month there's somebody else stepping in there. So. With what Randy did in the last fight against Tim, he shook up that division and proved that don't count an old man out, and he did exactly what he was supposed to do. He confused Tim, he gave him some problems, and in the end, took the title, and he's the guy now. And there's some tough matchups for him in the future, though, and that'll never change. And that's the way the sport's supposed to be. You're supposed to have fights that you can put on where you don't know who's going to win that fight. There's always that doubt of which guy's going to be the one coming out on top, and that's what makes it interesting.
We talked about the Iceman just a second ago, the light heavyweight champ in UFC. Boy, that guy just seems unbeatable, but again, that division's starting to get interesting as well. He could have some tough fights coming up.
He's got some tough fights. There's some guys out there, that if you're looking at the UFC and you're looking at the light heavyweight division, you've got, Rashad Evans coming out. Rashad came from the Ultimate Fighter show, and no one was giving him any credit when he was in it, and no one gave him any credit when he won it. And he just keeps on walking through people, and you walk through Jason Lambert, who just beat Hanato, Babalu Sobral, and so, Rashad Evans is for real. There's Quentin Rampage Jackson is there.
And he's the only guy that Liddell's lost to and hasn't avenged.
Exactly. You know, Chuck really has 3 losses on his record. He lost to Randy, he lost to Jeremy Horn, and he avenged both of those. And there's one that he has not, and that's Quentin. And Quentin has a style that is going to give Chuck problems a lot. What he does, he's got a real good, solid stand-up game, and he's got a rock for a chin. He throws hard punches, and he picks people up and drops them down and beats on them. You know, he's a challenge for anybody in that division, and you can't say that that's an easy fight for Chuck. It's not, and it's not an easy fight for Quentin, and so that's why you want to see it.
And one thing is for sure, with all of these new promotions coming out, the fighters are getting better and better. They're more hybrid. Did you ever think you'd see it this big, or you'd see this level of fighter?
You know what? It's I would be a liar if I thought. At one time, I thought it was going to be big, and then things went so bad for it for so long. I thought, man, it's never going to be what I thought it was. And then there came that one point where things just started turning around, and it's amazing to go to an arena and have 19,000 people at it, and they're all screaming, and they seem to understand the fights, and they know what's going on the ground fighting now, and it's amazing to be a part of that.
It is. Well, we're very glad you stopped by to say hello. Big John McCarthy, it's been a treat. Keep going with the UFC.
Thank you very much.
See you on the next
fight.
fight.